to Knitter's Gotta Knit podcast. This is stitch number 3.
One stitch at a time?
Yeah, we knit one stitch at a time. There you go.
So how was your past 2 weeks?
My past 2 weeks was pretty uneventful. I think I put in some comments on one of the episodes. My boyfriend went back to doing his own business now, and Jaime's been looking for just a truck to drive around in. He uses his truck now for work, and he had like a headache rack on it, and then he welded something on the other side of the truck so a ladder could go across the top, but it doesn't have a camper shell or anything, so it's just open. And when he gets home from work, he parks it in his backyard, and there's like a slab, and he closes the gate and the whole 9 yards. So
now that's his Ford, right? His 4-door Ford.
It's his
nice
Ford.
pickup.
It's his nice pickup, yeah. And it's about 5 years old, but still, it's his newest one. And but he just wants something like just to drive around town, to run an errand or go grocery shopping or come over here. When he comes over here, and he doesn't want to get his truck back out of the backyard. And if he's parked over here, then what if somebody over here gets into the back? I'm not saying that we live in bad neighborhoods or anything. It's one of those hassles. So he's been looking for a truck, and we drove to Bastrop one weekend, and I think he was going to go to New Braunfels today or something, and we may be going somewhere tomorrow. I don't know, but it works for me because I get to knit in the passenger seat. Now, when he buys a truck, because he hasn't bought one yet, then of course I have to drive mine home.
He'll play buy it in Dallas. You have to drive.
That's like 4 or 5 hours for us. It'll be a nice 4 or 5 hours getting there though, because I get to knit the whole time.
Then you have to drive home. So, go Jaime.
What have you been up to?
Well, it's been a busy past couple of weeks. We had every year we have our grandkids come, and they stay for a week, and that was this past week. I mean, it's been a week, so I've been back at work a week, so it was last week that they were here.
Like the week of the 24th
and
28th.
It was a great week. I mean, we had a lot of fun. We went and did pottery one day, and I did a yarn bowl that I don't know what to do with because I don't have any room on my table for it. But the whole time I was painting it, Kagan and Brinley were like, "That's gonna be ugly. That's gonna be ugly." But I mean, they were just messing with me. But it's
a beautiful yarn bowl.
It really did turn out nice. I'll send Carrie a picture if she wants to put it in the podcast. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. And then we, what else did we do? We went and did pottery. We went to the river. We did other stuff. I can't remember where else we went, but we did do other stuff. And we had a mystery that week. Every day when I would go clean the kitchen, I would see a chopstick on the counter, and Bruce and I were both like, why is there always one chopstick on the counter? And it's like, where's this coming from? Well, on Thursday I saw Brinley when she got out of bed and she went to the kitchen and she made her coffee, and she opened the silverware drawer, got out a chopstick, stirred her coffee, and laid it on the cabinet. So it was like, okay, that's where the chopstick, she's using it as a coffee stirrer.
12-year-old coffee drinker. Chopstick.
And it was funny because Bruce said, well, that's just, my husband Bruce, he said, that's just weird. If I drank anything in my coffee, I would stir it with a butter knife. And I said, well, if I drank anything in my coffee, I would do it like a normal person and use a spoon.
Spoon.
So it was funny. So, but yeah, she made her coffee every morning, so we got that mystery solved. And then she loves horses. She's never rode a horse, but she loves horses. And so she started us on this show on Netflix called Heartland. It's
I think I've heard of it.
It's about this horse ranch in Canada, and it's got a lot of high school drama in it, and a grouchy old grandpa, which Kagan said, he reminds me of you, Papa. But she likes to give her Papa a hard time. But it was funny because Brinley, we watched it every day. Every day we watched the show. And when we took them home, Brinley told Casey, her daddy, our son, that she wanted to learn to ride a horse, or she wanted to go ride a horse. And Casey's like, I don't know of anybody that has any good horses around. If you go rent a horse at like a stable or something, you get crap horses. And I don't know, there's some back and forth conversation going on, and Brinley said, well, I know how to ride a horse. And Casey was like, no, you don't. She was like, yeah, I do, because I watch Heartland. I've been watching Heartland. And Casey told her, he said, well, I watch ER too, but that don't make me a doctor. So it was funny. So we need to try to like find a place, I guess, somewhere to let her ride a horse. I guess I got to take her to Oklahoma and to my sister's house and let my sister let her ride one of her horses. My sister's a horse trainer, so she has horses, but the kids have never
Oklahoma's
rode.
a little far for us.
It is just to go ride a horse.
It is just the state above us, but it is still a little far. So,
but it was a good week, and Bruce, bless his heart, the week the girls were here, he's had this sinus surgery scheduled, and so he hasn't been able to take anything for a headache, for 10 days leading up to his surgery. So he had a headache the whole time the kids were here, and he handled it well. But he broke a tooth one day, and so he had to go to the dentist and get a cap put on it, and they found a cavity in one of his wisdom teeth. One tooth. And so they pulled that tooth, and so on top of a sinus headache, he had dental work done, which he just felt miserable. But he still at night would take Kagan, our 15-year-old granddaughter, out to drive, and they would spend a lot of time like in a parking lot at a church, driving. And she's got her permit, but she's hadn't drove a lot. And so he was telling her that they've been doing these different exercises, that he's a great teacher, and so he was telling her different things to do. And he told her, he said, okay, Kagan, now I want you to, when I tell you, I want you to punch the gas and don't stop until I tell you. And when I tell you, I want you to slam on the brake. Well, he said the first couple of times, she would gently push on it, gently push on the brake. And he told her, he said, no, when I tell you, I want you to punch it, and then I want you to slam on the brake. When I tell you slam on the brake, she was like, okay, got this. So he told her, he said, go. And she hit the gas, and she was like speeding across this parking lot. And she said that there was this parking blocks or curb or something that she could tell she was getting close to. And Bruce told her, he said, okay, slam on the brake. And she slammed on the brake, and she said, Papa, I thought you were going to wait too long. But, I mean, that may sound like a strange exercise, but sometimes you need to know how to slam on the brake. You can't always push on the brake gently. And sometimes you need to punch on the gas to get out of the way. So,
it is a great lesson, because I'm not sure if you know this, but many, many years ago when I was learning how to drive, I was 15. I had just gotten my learner's permit. We get our learner's permit on a Wednesday. At least that's what we did way back when. I don't know if they still do that now, but, and it was like 30 years ago. And I got my permit on a Wednesday, and we went to church on Sunday, the following Sunday. Me, my sister, my mom, my dad, and we're coming home from church, and we're leaving church, and my dad says, well, Care Bear, you can drive. My dad calls me Care Bear. My whole family calls me Care Bear. And Care Bear, you can drive home. So I'm like, okay. We have this little Ford Escort. I don't even know if they still make that.
I don't know.
The little four-door sedan, and it was red. And we were, I was driving home, and my parents' neighborhood, they still live in the same house, but to get to the neighborhood on the way home, there's this just a little bit of a decline. So you're kind of starting to speed up a little bit, unless you hit the brake, of course. And somebody had always told me, don't ride the brakes, because it would like ruin it, like constantly keep your foot on the brake. And remember, I'm 15, so I don't know what I'm doing. And so I'm trying not to ride the brakes, and just kind of like pump and then kind of let off, and then pump and then kind of let off. Well, by now I'm going way too fast to make the turn to the right into my parents' neighborhood. And so my dad knows it, I know it, everybody knows it, and he's like, hit the brake. And so I punch it on the gas. I don't slam on the brake, I slam on the gas. And I cut that wheel to the right as hard as I could, and we went in that turn. And at the beginning of my parents' subdivision is an island. This island dividing going in and coming out. And in that island is 3 lampposts. And each lamppost is on like this big thing of bricks. So, you've got like this, I don't know, like 2x2 or whatever thing of bricks. And then this old fancy dancy light pole coming out of the top. I went up on the curb, knocked the light pole off, and I landed on those bricks. And when I landed and we came to a stop, my foot was still on the
Oh
gas.
my gosh.
And
So Bruce did good.
good lesson for Kagan. Great lesson.
That's funny.
My sister and I walked home. My parents, there was no cell phones now. My parents walked to one of the first houses there
That
in
was
the
still a
neighborhood.
fantasy. Like, we wish we had a cell phone we could carry around, or a
And
phone.
they went to, the first neighbor's house and asked to call, the police and a wrecker or whatever. And the whole walk home, which wasn't that far, but it felt like, 7 miles. The whole walk home, I'm just like, Daddy's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. Daddy's gonna kill me. Daddy's gonna kill me. And you always think your
Yeah.
parents are gonna kill you when you do something wrong.
And probably
but-
all Dad said was, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, and he
Yep.
was just happy everybody was all right. But yeah.
I remember when I was 15, my brother, I have a brother older than me, and a brother a year older than me, and a brother a year younger than me, and then a sister 10 years younger than me. And my oldest brother, he had this paper route that he never did. The only time Bobby ever did his paper route was when it was time to collect money. And I think that's the only time he did it, was when it was time to
I'm
collect
not
money.
so sure I'd be paying Bobby if I didn't get my paper.
Well, no, he got his paper because,
You did.
I did it.
Little sister. I did
And so
that.
I was driving my mother's car. It was a Oldsmobile, I think Oldsmobile 66, a big old car. And we lived in this little bitty town outside Amarillo called Bushland. And so I was like delivering Bobby's papers because,
Bobby wasn't going to.
he probably beat me up if I didn't. I mean, I would, he was my older brother. I did what he told me to do. So I was delivering his paper. And this one day I ran over this German Shepherd dog. It was the most traumatic thing I'd ever been through up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I ran over this dog with the front wheels. And I thought, what am I going to do? I was like, I didn't know what to do. I just freaked out. And so I remember I turned off the car and got out of it and walked home. Went and told Bobby that he had to finish his paper route, and the car was up the road with the dog underneath it. It was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It was like I say, it was the worst. It was the most traumatic thing I'd ever been through. I was like, I didn't know what to do, because if I moved forward, I was going to run over him again, and if I couldn't back up, I couldn't do anything, and he wasn't dead, which makes it even more horrible. I mean, he was just injured, and so I was like, I didn't know what to do. So, and I have no idea what my dad and Bobby did. I don't know, but I know they went and got the car and finished the paper route, and then I think Bobby did his paper route for about, I don't know, few weeks, let me get over the trauma before he made me start doing it again. but that was my traumatic experience when I was 15.
Wow.
So
wow, that's crazy.
Yep. But
Good lesson for Kaden.
yeah,
though.
it was a good lesson, and she, Bruce enjoyed it. I think he really enjoyed the one-on-one, getting to spend, because it's hard when you have all 4 of the kids at the house at the same time. It's hard to have that one-on-one with them. So he enjoyed being with her, and she was so desperate to go shopping that she went grocery shopping with Papa one day. So I was like,
Just to get the feel of shopping for that teenage girl.
this granny don't go to the mall.
Uh-huh.
I cannot stand to shop.
Me either.
And I was like, you can go to Papa, buy groceries, but I'm not taking you shopping. So she did. She went grocery shopping with Papa. And
That's good.
I think she was enjoying spending time with him.
That's good. That's
so,
really good.
So it was a good week. We
Good.
enjoyed it.
Good.
So
It's ironic you mentioned that Bruce had a cracked tooth, or needed his wisdom tooth out. Jaime was here the other day, and I'm a huge gummy bear fan. I love gummy bears, and they're almost always here at the house. And so after we had dinner or whatever, I'm sure Jaime was looking for something sweet. He's got a sweet tooth, and I said, well, I've got some gummy bears, and they're not his favorite, but he ate some gummy bears. And when he went home, he said, that gummy bear cracked my crown. And so
were they hard? Like, were they old?
no, they weren't old, but they were really from Germany.
Oh.
I had a spare package that was like really from Germany, so they're not. Haribo gummy bears from Germany are a little bit harder than the Haribo gummy bears here in the United States. I prefer them a little bit harder.
Me
And
too.
so even when I get them here from the States, I usually will open them, or put them in a Ziploc and kind of crack the Ziploc so they can kind of dry out a little bit, because I don't like them super soft. But they weren't terribly hard. They weren't like a Starburst or anything like that. They were, but for some reason, he probably just bit on it just perfect, and it cracked his crown, and he was really worried. And so he went to the dentist the next day and said, I cracked my crown, and They fixed it for free. They put a new crown on for free.
That is amazing.
He was
That's
amazed.
amazing.
He was relieved and he was amazed. I think he said that the dentist said it was only like 4 or 5 years old, and I didn't know that there's a warranty on crowns.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I mean, every time Bruce goes to the dentist, he's been a lot lately. It's like $700, please. You know, they like $700 to death. You know?
Every time, $700.
That's like the magic number.
Wow.
$700. So
That's crazy.
but
So, I think the only other thing this week, I think I told you guys, my daughter's been looking for a house. She's living with me right now with her son, and she's been looking for a house. She hasn't had a whole lot of luck, but she looked at a house last night, and everybody, fingers crossed, she's put in an offer. They are having open house on this house today. It's Saturday today. Hopefully nobody comes in over her offer, and she really, really likes this house. It seems really perfect for her, so I am praying and hoping that she
I hope
gets
so
this
too.
house.
And I was so excited when you first told me, because it was like, you know, it meant to be, and then you told me about the open house, and I was like, oh gosh. So I hope.
But we're still hoping that her offer.
Hope she gets it.
They got the offer last night, and they were already saying that they liked it and asking a few questions if she's willing to work with them here or there and what she needs them to work on. But they are still having an open house today, so we're just gonna have to, see how it goes.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for her. I hope she gets it.
Yeah, me
So.
too. Me too. All right. Well, do we want to? I don't know. Talk about knitting. This is a Knitters
Yeah,
Gotta
I
Knit
guess we
podcast.
should.
Mhm.
Yep.
First, let's do some winners. Winners. Well, one winner. We had the Yarn Cafe Creations thread open. This is the.
My hair's driving me crazy.
Your hair is driving you crazy?
Yes.
Do you need me to stop?
No. That's okay. Go ahead.
Mermaid Party. Yarn Cafe Creations. We opened a thread for our very first giveaway. Thank you, Christy, for giving us this yarn. I drew a number, and it was number 9. And I believe this is a Dutch words, and maybe my German probably sucks. 3 kleine Scheepje. 3 little sheep. I'm not sure how to say sheep, but I know kleine is small. So 3 small sheep. Congratulations. If you will.
Congratulations.
PM me or Darlene, either one of us. We will get this out in the mail to you. And
You're
thank
gonna
you,
love
everybody.
this yarn.
You
It
are.
is
I mean, I don't want to put
soft.
it down.
I know,
I don't
it's
want to put it
just-
down. It's just
It's
fabulous.
amazing. It's amazing yarn.
And yes, thank you everybody that entered, and we'll get that
Didn't
out.
you say we had like 66 people enter it or something?
68 or 66. I didn't write it down. I just wrote the winning number down, but it was
amazing.
it was a lot.
Yeah, it's a
we were
lot.
surprised. Again,
It's awesome.
thank you for all the support. We love it. So and we have a new giveaway. We said last episode that we were going to do a 500 subscriber giveaway, and we have a giveaway for that.
And we have this skein of sparkle yarn. I believe it's from Ring a Rosie. It's a stargazer. It's really beautiful yarn.
It's sparkle.
And then it's going to go with this bag. This is a bag that's new to my shop. It's got a little polar bear hiding in the flowers, which I thought was, ironic. Polar bears in flowers. So that was too cute not to get. And it has just a pink houndstooth lining on the inside. So this will go to our 500 giveaway. And I was asking Carrie, how do we do that? How do people, we're new to YouTube, so we don't really know what we're doing. So
did you get that one? We don't know what we're doing.
we don't know what we're doing. So, I think Carrie's going to open a thread in our group, but, how do other people do it? Because we didn't come up with this 500 giveaway. Other people
right.
do
Other
them.
podcasts do 500 and 1,000 and, however many subscriber giveaway. I don't know how to go in and find a subscriber list on our channel. And, I know the password and everything. I still don't see it. I do get emails, to the Knitters Gotta Knit, podcast at gmail.com. But we have like 570 subscribers, and I only have 200 or 300 emails where it says, Darlene York has subscribed to your channel, Carrie Ramirez has subscribed to your channel, and, these emails, but it's not 570. So I don't want to do it based off the emails because somebody's going to be left out. So I think we're going to open a thread, but if somebody out there knows how to look at the subscriber list and for me to draw a random number from that, Hey, let
that
us
would
know.
be the easiest and the better way, I think, if we could figure out how to do that.
Right.
So, if y'all know, please like clue us in, because we looked at it and we don't know.
But yeah,
So-
we're clueless.
We're clueless.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think it took a lot for you guys to figure that out. So, but we also are going to have, besides the 500 subscriber giveaway, we're going to have another one. I was contacted by Linda from Lavender Mountain Yarns. And Linda sent us 2 skeins of yarn. She told us to pick one to keep and pick one to give away. Being that I love orange, I'm probably going to keep this one. But it's a DK weight yarn, lavender. So the colors,
They are just beautiful.
they really are. And it's 245 yards. And the one that we're going to give away is called Lean On Me. And it's really beautiful colors. It's,
It
you know,
is.
greens and purples and blues and even hints of brown and rust. And I'm going to open a thread for this. So maybe you can go check out Linda's shop and, you know, come back to the thread and tell us, you know, what you love in her shop or what you'd want to see. So maybe it gives her some ideas of what you want, and we'll draw a winner next episode with this one. So
Perfect.
yes. And then we're not going to open a thread for this one now, but just so you know what's coming up, when we draw the winner for the Lavender Mountain Yarns, we're going to next stitch number 4, we have yarn from Carrie at Creative Obsessions.
She was so awesome, and this package just arrived. I was blown away by it. She sent us
Warm and Cozy mini set of minis. I don't know if you can see all those colors. I think Darlene's going to keep this because, again, Carrie said
she sent 3 things, told us each to keep something, and the other one to give away.
And that is just overly generous.
It is.
Thank you so much. I mean,
Because I know that it can,
it
can be expensive for a shop to send,
It can.
3 items.
So please don't feel obligated to do that. But this is Fancy Pants, and this is Ambrosia, and they're really beautiful colors.
They are. Carrie is so good with I mean, she just has like this eye for
And I can't do
color.
that.
I can't
I'm
either.
jealous of people that can do that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep the Ambrosia and give away the Fancy Pants. So, but this will be not now. It'll be in stitch 4 when we announce the winners next time. But we wanted to show it, so thank
Yeah.
you, Carrie, very much. I mean, again,
And
thank
we
you
will
everybody.
we
for
will
the
post
support.
these on Instagram, so you can see them on Instagram also, and
Yeah,
and please visit her shop. She's got
gorgeous
stuff. She's so talented. She's a quilter. She sews. She, I think, paints. She, it's one of those people that you would really like to not like, but she's too sweet to not like. I mean, she really is a super sweet person.
One of those. I love you, but man, I'm so
That
jealous.
man, yeah, you're just no one person should be that talented, and she
yeah,
is.
No, I agree. I
So-
agree. So we've gone over those things. Let's see. I've got some notes in front of me here. So, being that we're showing yarn, I'm going to jump into some stash enhancements. I'm still true that we're not going to have a whole lot of stash enhancements all the time, but I did get, like I said last week, I had ordered some of the Yarn Cafe Creations yarn from Christy, and I was waiting for this to come in. These were the 3 skeins that I purchased. There's Peach Blossom, Just Speckles Pumpkin, and Jason Voorhees. These are the 3 colors that I got. And you hold these because I want to put them together in the outline that I still want to make, and I haven't started, but it's on my list, with these 3 yarns. So Darlene thinks I should take this one out and just have these 3. But if anybody's got, ideas on which ones I should keep, which ones I shouldn't, which one, because I just need 5 colors, and heck, maybe I'll just do all 6. But I just need 5 colors, and outline can kind of be done in any order, and I might just throw them, cake them up and throw them in a bag, and then put some number tags in another bag and pull out a number of rows I need to knit with whatever color I pull out of the bag, and then put the colors back, stir them up, put the number back, and pull out 30 rows with this color, and just keep knitting, because I'm terrible about what order, and I need 5 stripes of this, and then I got to put this one next to this one, and it's just mind racking
It
to
can
try
be
to put
stressful.
that. Very stressful. So
it is.
and we had done, it was Darlene's idea. We had done something very similar with Find Your Fade. We called it Mystery Stress Free Find Your Fade.
Experimental stress-free mystery.
Yeah. We just put some yarn together in a bag. My daughter hers was a little bit more mystery than mine. My daughter kind of picked 7 colors that would go together no matter what, and Darlene gave full rein to Bruce and said, here's a bin of fingering yarn. I want you to pick 7 colors out of this bin of fingering yarn and
Wrap them up.
We wrapped them up in little plastic bags, and so you couldn't see what color they were, and then pull one out, and that's the first one we knit with. And
it was so much fun. I mean, it was fun to like get to that next color because you didn't know what that next color was going to be. And it was fun opening it to see what it was going to be. And I really loved my fade. I think it turned out, so good. I think
I love it
Bruce
too.
picked out good colors.
I've made 2 already, but I loved it too.
So, and I have one going on right now, and that's my yarn, my hedgehog that Carrie bought me for my birthday. And I mean, it's going to be gorgeous too. I can't wait to get it finished because I think out of everything that we've ever knit, my Find Your Fade is my favorite. I mean, as far as shawls to wear,
shawls to wear. I think it's one of my favorite. I knit Nuvum a few years ago, and I knit it in black, which we know how much Darlene loves to knit in black. But I knit it in black because I wear black every day to work, and I wanted my Nuvum to be a shawl to wear to work.
She does wear it a lot.
And I wear black pants. In my closet, it's super easy. I have like 5 or 6 pairs of black pants, and I have like 15 or 16 different shirts, and I just kind of rotate them as they come out of the laundry. A pair of black pants and a different shirt, pair of black pants, the next shirt, pair of black pants, and just easy peasy. I don't want to have to think about it and match anything, and I'm pretty boring that way. So that's why I knit my Nuvum in black.
And you do use it all the time in the winter. So.
I do use it all the time.
But we want to, because we're not crazy or anything, we want to make a 2 skein Nuvum, and the skeins are 1,700 yards because it's light fingering from Woolmies or Miss Babs. So 1,700 plus 2 is what, 3,000 something.
Or something like that.
But a friend of ours did one.
Shanita.
And oh my gosh, is that thing not gorgeous?
She did 2 skeins of Katydin.
It's just huge, and you just it's awesome.
It's like true definition of schlanket.
Yeah,
shawl and a blanket.
It is awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so we want to do that.
Yeah, but amongst all our other craziness of what we want to start. So while I'm on the subject of yarn, I guess I should go with my daughter. I got some new yarn, and I only have 1 skein to show of it. My daughter is on Instagram a lot. She's 21 years old. She's on Instagram like any other, I guess, 21-year-old. And I don't know how she found this guy, but she found a guy on Instagram that knits. I think he's in California, but he's originally from Japan. And he makes some beautiful things. And she showed me a hat and a cowl that he made. And this was the exact yarn. And this is a free pattern. He made this pattern. I know it's a free pattern. Leaf lace scarf. And it calls for lace weight yarn, but he did it with this DK, and this is discontinued yarn.
It's beautiful.
Leave it to my daughter to pick discontinued yarn. It's called Sublime Lustrous Extra Fine Merino DK, and it has like a little sheen to it. It's really, really pretty. Now, I only have 1 skein that I've found on Ravelry, but I did find 3 other skeins on eBay, and I bought them, and I think they're going to be here today. But so that's coming up in the future pretty soon for Paige, which is why I got this yarn. Okay, sorry about that, technical difficulties. So I think I just got done telling you about the cowl that I want to make my daughter. It's actually a scarf, but in the Instagram person that she found, I think he connected it and it's a cowl because I can't find the ends on his Ravelry page.
And I looked at his Ravelry, and I think his Ravelry name is, in case y'all want to look at his stuff, is Kinky Boy Knits. And I was reading his thing, and he said that kinky, it's probably not the way you say it because he is from Japan, and he said that the kinky is from where he's from in Japan.
I think that's the name of his town.
In his message, he says, I'm not kinky or
Yeah, like,
something.
not
it was
the
not
kinky-
the kinky you're thinking of.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it was cute. He's a cute kid.
He is a cute kid.
So, but
And she found one other thing on his Instagram that she wants. So I ended up getting this book, Rib. I think it's for, it says like for men who knit, or, you know, I guess women who knit for them, or men who knit for them, or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's right at the very beginning. It's the orienteering hat. And so I bought this whole book for this one pattern, but
yeah, but I bet you there's other patterns in
I'm
there
sure.
we can use.
I'm sure between, you know, Bruce or Jaime or my dad or, you know, somebody. There's some beautiful
Yeah.
sweaters and stuff. Here's that hat again. So
I could be wrong, but for some reason I'm thinking that the man that does dramatic knits had something to do with this book. I'm not sure. I could be. Don't quote me on that. I could be completely wrong. That might not be right at all.
And
Maybe I
this
just
is
saw.
this is number 2.
Yeah.
This is number 2. So maybe I don't see his name on here.
No, I don't either. So I'm probably wrong.
maybe he's on number 1, but
Maybe so.
But it's got some nice patterns. But I did buy it for that one hat because Paige wants that hat, and I do have yarn coming for that. She wanted it in the same color, and I didn't have that exact same color in worsted, which is what it calls for. And I'm not creative enough to like change things up and say, oh, I'm gonna make it in fingering or whatever. So I do have one skein coming for that. It's in like Madeline Tosh and the colorways paper, but so I got those for stash enhancements and, you know, what a knitter wants, because those are going to be in my future.
Guess go to time for our whips.
Whips.
I don't have much. Most of my time in the past couple of weeks has been, you know, just being with the grandkids and doing some crochet. And I didn't bring Shannon's sweater because I'm a slacker and I haven't done anything on it. And I have got to like get my butt in gear and get that done. So hopefully I'll make some progress on it this next couple of weeks and I can show y'all on the next time. But I did work on, while my husband was having his sinus surgery this week, I worked on my daughter's Ricky hat, and I really love the way that feels.
It feels really good.
I'm really hope she likes this hat, because
I think she's gonna love it.
I've enjoyed knitting it. I've never knit a hat though that didn't have any ribbing on it, so that kind of concerns me. But I mean, she don't ride motorcycles or anything like that she needs to keep a hat on. So, and she has a lot of hair. So maybe, I mean, I know it's short, but she has a ton of hair. It's very thick, so I'm hoping that with all her hair and stuff, it'll fit her okay.
I'm sure
But
it will.
I really like it. I'm a little worried I'm going to run out of yarn because I still have to make one glove.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna run out of yarn, but you never know. Those
Yeah.
tiny little balls, they last forever sometimes.
do.
I'm like,
They
man,
do.
when am I gonna get to the end of this?
So that's what I've been working on mostly in the past few days, is that hat.
I just have a couple of whips. Besides everything that I want to start.
Yeah.
But I did work on my daddy's Ranger that we talked about last week.
I love that color.
I have the Naughty Knitwits Progress Keeper. I don't know where you guys got that, but you have to tell me. We've got to get some of those made.
Because it
They're
is
so
super cute. It is cute.
So that's where I was before, and that's where I am now. And I'm pretty sure that's the front side, but I could be wrong.
I like the other side.
This is the wrong side. Darlene likes this one better, but I'm pretty sure if I read the pattern, this is the right side.
Really?
But I'm not 100% sure. So it has like 216 stitches on it, so it takes a while.
Yeah, Bruce's has got zero attention since the last time I showed it.
And I mean, it is a paid for pattern, and not that you're going to get anything out of 216 stitches, but I did start another sweater for myself. It's called the May Sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I started it like the day after I started this, and then I didn't like give it any attention, and then I kind of gave it attention and did the ribbing, like 2.5 or 2 3/4 inches of ribbing, and then the first round of short rows I was going to do the short rows. Well, you know, I read the pattern when I started it and the whole 9 yards, but because I started it when I was starting this one, my size was to cast on 212, and then you join in the round and then do like 2.5 ribbings, whatever. And that's not going to give away the pattern either, but this one was 216, and because I had just done this one, even though I read it, my crazy brain, I cast on 216, so, and joined in the round and did like 2.5 inches, so I ripped that whole thing out. And I haven't restarted it. I want to, because I want it for me, but you know, I've got so many other things going. I said that was my sign that I shouldn't be starting anything, so I had to frog that whole thing. But that was other thing that I worked on. And then my last whip, pretty sure this is my last whip, is the last of my big four. And I am sorry, Aunt Irene, but this has taken me 2 years to get here. Somebody tagged me on Facebook for a pair of Converse. They're like Converse slippers, but they're really just a sock. I'm not sure. I think this is a free pattern, but I'm not 100% sure. So it's like slippers that are done that look like, you know, a pair of Converse basketball high tops or something. And she commented on my Facebook and said she wanted some, and I said, of course, Aunt Irene, I'll make you some. And 2 years later, they're still sitting here. So this is the last of my big four, so I hope to get
That's awesome.
the second one cast on and more of this one done. I've been ignoring it because it's worsted weight yarn. It's Cascade 220 worsted weight yarn on size 3 needles. And I asked a couple of people who have finished this, did you really do size 3 needles with worsted weight yarn? You know, my worsted weight yarn, I usually do like 8, 9s, 10s, you know, something, but it is a slipper sock, and it's just dense, and it's not my favorite thing to work on, but don't worry, Aunt Irene, I'll get it done.
You've done so good on your big four. I'm hoping to get at least 3 of my big four done. I'm probably not going to get them all.
This is the last month of our big four.
Yeah, it is.
And,
so I think I know I'll finish my fade, but I probably won't finish my spire. But hey, 3's better than nothing.
Hey, yeah, 3.
So,
hey, that's 3 whips that we're getting done. So, whips, Converse. I think I've talked about everything.
I think so.
Let's see. Sorry about that with her. You want to talk about what you want to do with Peyton's wrap?
Oh yeah. So Peyton, my number 4 grandkid, she loves anything knitted. I mean, she loves.
She's very knitworthy.
She's very knitworthy. And I think she has everything. You know that weenie dog hat that I made that I was so proud of, that I had knitted the color work weenie dog that started and went all the way around, and it ended up being fitting a doll because, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. She still has that.
Wow.
And I told her, I said, you can give that to one of your little stepsisters if you want. She was like, no, I can't, no, Granny. I mean, she was like
that's great.
completely
Even though
offended.
it doesn't
you know,
fit her.
Doesn't fit. It's never fit her. It was too little when I made it, but I went ahead and gave it to her. But anyway, our friend Melissa Rogie, I'm probably not saying her name. I never say her last name right. Is that right?
I think it's Rogie.
Rogie. Okay. She was making this cape for her daughter Audrey. And the whole time she was making it, I was like, I hope Audrey hates that, because, you know, because Melissa is so sweet, and she gives me her stuff that Audrey outgrows for Peyton. And Peyton loves those as much as she loves what I make her. I mean, she, you know, she wears what Carrie makes her. She wears what I make her. She wears what Melissa, you know.
And she really wears them.
And she wears them all the time. And so I want to make this for Kagan for, but you know, I mean, yeah, sorry, Peyton. You know what? But if I waited another year, she could get Audrey's. But I won't do that, Peyton. I'll make it for you.
You didn't hear that, Melissa.
Yeah. But, so I wanted to make this for Peyton. And the Baracco yarn, this is a Baracco pattern. I had to buy this book to get this pattern. But the Baracco yarn, they didn't have. And so I got these colors. I tried to, like, match the colors the best I could to the pattern, because that pattern is just so cute. So I got these 4 colors. Sorry.
Juggling act.
Yeah, these 4 colors for it. And it's not exact, but I think it'll still be cute, and I think Peyton will love it. And I want, if I have enough yarn left over, I want to make her, I would like to make her a pair of fingerless mitts to go with it. And man, I'm sorry, I'm just throwing yarn everywhere.
That's all right.
But I want to start this pretty soon, just so she'll, you know, I can get it to her.
I think it'll be a nice relaxing knit.
I think it will too, nice. and I know that Peyton will love it, so I'm excited to make it for her.
And I think it has a pattern of gloves to match it.
It does, yeah, a little. But I want to make her like
Like the Nux,
Yeah.
like she made Teresa.
Yeah. So. Oh, and speaking of that, my son-in-law, he asked for a pair of gloves. He said he wanted full fingers except for his trigger finger. He's a hunter, so he wants there to be a no tip in just one.
And full fingers on all
and
the
full
other
fingers
ones.
on the wrist.
And
So-
he didn't ask for black because
No,
he's
thank
the most
goodness.
wonderful son-in-law
Yes,
ever.
he is.
Mhm.
And I've never made full fingers, so I'm hoping that. I mean, I know I can do it. I'm just hoping I don't get them too long.
Mhm.
So I don't know what the trick is there, but
If you have any
So,
tips or tricks, let
yeah.
us know. Let's see. I think that's all we have on whips and stuff, but I know that Darlene's got a really big finished object.
so one of my finished objects, I showed y'all the last time. I didn't show you the finished object, but I showed you the hat, the frosted glass hat that I made for my daughter-in-law Teresa. I've sent that home. I gave it to Kagan to give to her when we took her home last week. So Carrie will try to insert a
Yeah, I'll
picture
try
of
and
her.
insert a picture here. I suck at editing, and I
Oh,
didn't
you
rea-
do a really good job.
I didn't realize how bad it was for Stitch 2, so I'm going to try and put a picture in here without screwing everything up.
But this is a blanket for my daughter-in-law Teresa, and it's really big, so we won't open it all the way. But it's this is part of my Big Four. This was one of my Big Four projects, so I'm really, really happy to get this done. I really am not a crocheter. I've
God,
only,
it's warm.
it's so heavy. Yeah, I used Barocco Bulky held double.
Wow. Mhm.
So it's really big, and it's part of my Big Four, so I'm really happy to get this done. I've only crocheted one other blanket, and that was for Tim, my son-in-law. But I have another one going for my son Casey, but blankets are just kind of one of those things that are long term, just kind of sits by your chair. But I did want to get this finished for Teresa because I promised it to her a year ago. So
That's awesome.
hey, yeah, hallelujah, that's
all right,
done.
All right.
So
I have a couple of finished objects. I just don't know where I put them all. Here's one.
here's two here.
I was contacted by a lady on Instagram. Her name is Laura DeFlora, I think, and she has recently gone through chemo, and she said she watched the podcast, said I was knitting chemo caps for Cynthia, Darlene's niece, and so this is a free pattern of hers on Ravelry. It's called Head Hug Chemo Cap. It's got a great stitch pattern that's not too mind-boggling because I don't like to think, and
That's beautiful.
I had this in stash, just some Malabrigo chunky in the tart colorway. I have an extra skein of this, which I had a little ball, cake left over, which I started with, and then I thought I was going to have to break into the second skein. I had like 6 inches of yarn left when I finished this. I mean, I was really panicking, but I mean, I had the yarn. I just didn't want to open a whole nother, cake a whole nother thing of yarn for, just a few inches. So
That's
this is going to
beautiful.
go to Cynthia, and so I whipped that up. And thank you, Laura, for telling me about the pattern and, having it for free on Ravelry. And I'm glad all your, treatments are done and, hang in there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And just an update on Cynthia. She had her first chemo last week, and she did really well. She said that it was so boring because it was like 6 or 7, 8 hours long that she had to sit there. And she called me and she was like,
I didn't realize
I
treatments
didn't
were that
either.
long.
I didn't either. And she called me and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying here. This is so boring. And I was like, don't call me and tell me that, And I told her, I said,
especially during chemo.
yeah, I said, don't you wish you'd have let me teach you to knit back when I wanted to?
Uh-huh.
And she was like, yeah, can y'all come come teach me now? And I told her, I said,
To Oklahoma.
no, Amarillo.
Oh, Amarillo, sorry.
And I told her, I said, well, it's not like around the corner, but maybe Carrie and I could FaceTime you and teach you. And she was like, no, I want you to come and teach me. I'm like, okay, I would love to, but, but she's doing really well. She had a full body test because they wanted to just check her out to make sure that she was clear everywhere. And they did. She is clear everywhere except they found a growth in her kidney, and they said that it was cancerous, but isn't related to her breast cancer. And they said that it's very slow growing. She's probably had it for years.
Uh-huh.
And so without this breast cancer, they may have never found the kidney one. And so it's kind of as a blessing
Blessing
in
in
disguise
type
kind of thing.
Mhm.
But after her 6 months of chemo and her radiation, they will just take the kidney out.
Oh, well,
So-
yeah. So go with good with
But
that
but
one
she's
too.
doing really, really well. So
Good.
But she said it was freezing in that chemo thing, so they're gonna. Carrie and I are putting
Putting a
together
little care package together.
a package to send her. So
Look for that soon, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. We're podcasting on a Saturday, and I have my grandson every Saturday. So every once in a while, you might hear a little bit of noise of tiny little feet tiptoeing in, or you might see me like looking over there and going, you know,
the
because
death stare.
Yeah, the death stare, which
Yeah.
he really doesn't get because I'm grandma. You know, I mean, what's grandma gonna do, really? And so anyway, sorry about that. But finished objects. So I finished this Brio chevron cowl. This is
Beautiful.
a Stephen West pattern, and it is Mobius. So that means it has an on-purpose twist in it. So this is the right side, and this is the wrong side, and then when you seam them together, you put them, you know, one right side with wrong side, and I think actually this is the better side of my seaming, and there's a twist in it. So it was not the funnest thing because like I said, I don't like thinking, but I really like the end result. It's a squishy fabric. I'm not sure how often I'll wear this, but it might just go into my bucket
really
of gifts
pretty.
for the future or whatever. But I did enjoy knitting it. I loved working off the blank. And
I was really hoping that twist was not on purpose, because one time I was knitting something. I don't remember what it was, but I had cast on a bazillion stitches, and I thought I twisted it. And Carrie, she was like, I would have laughed my butt off if you would have
if
twisted
you have
it.
a twisted, because she joined it in the round.
Yeah.
She goes, if you have a twist in that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's what she said. That would be hilarious. And I'm like, really? That would be hilarious.
That was like 2 years
So
ago.
I was hoping that this was accidental.
So
but
she could tell me how hilarious
yeah,
it is.
that is just hilarious.
to have that twist in it.
But that is just gorgeous.
Well,
But
thank
she
you.
was just kidding.
I
but-
was kidding.
But it was really funny. This is just beautiful.
Thank you. My last finished object are my fins. These were the Tortoise socks. I'm not sure how close I need to get. You know, they're called, the pattern is called Fins, and it probably won't be available until after Tortoise Sock for purchase. I don't know, maybe it's available for purchase now. I don't know if they hold on to it or what, but it's got little shark fins, and these are supposed to be little fins. But I did finally finish, and I finished them within time, and I think I got one whopping point.
You
or
did
something.
finish in time?
I did.
Wow.
In time, but barely, but in time for Tortoise Sock. I did not do sock number 2, and I think sock number 3 was released yesterday, and I haven't even looked at it yet because I've been working on my Daddy's Ranger.
So are you going to continue to do the sock thing, the socks a month?
I'm gonna try to.
Are you?
I haven't.
That's great.
I haven't cast on my August socks yet, but
Really?
what are we on?
The fourth.
The 4th
Yeah.
or 5th or something like that. So are we? It's the 5th.
Oh, is it the 5th?
It's the 5th.
So,
And but I'm hoping to keep doing it. It keeps me motivated. I like to have the socks, and
I think that's
I saved
awesome.
socks that I've knit up, put them in a bucket for gifts and things throughout the year. So I have them. So, and I see on the floor here that I forgot one of the whips that I was working on. I've had this yarn for quite a while. It's just a big bulky yarn, and when Kagan was here, Darlene
My number one.
Darlene texted me and she said, Kagan wants a sweater. She wants a cardigan. And I said, well, what kind of cardigan? She says, she wants a bulky cardigan.
So Kagan got on the internet, or Pinterest, I think it was, and she started sending me these sweaters. And so as she was sending them to me, I was sending them to Carrie, because Carrie can find anything on Ravelry. And I thought, why should I waste the time looking when she'll find it in 5 minutes? So I was sending her pictures as Kagan was sending them to me.
And it turned out that I had these kits from We Are Knitters, because Paige loves this. She has kind of the same taste as what Kagan was looking
And
at.
actually, it was so I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was so funny when Kagan was sending me those, because she was like, I like this sweater, but I don't like that trim down the collar, or I like this sweater, but I don't like this. And I thought,
That is Paige.
I thought, oh
to
my
a
gosh,
T.
that sounds like Paige. Now, Shyla, my daughter, she don't do that. I mean, she's very simple, easy, whatever I knit for her, she's fine. She don't want to change things. Kagan's not that way. Kagan is like your Paige. I mean, she was like, I don't like this, but I like this. And I like this sweater, but I need it to be longer, and I need the. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is Paige.
That is Paige. And as a matter of fact, if I can figure out my editing, I'll insert a picture here. But one time Paige also on Pinterest found a sweater that she loved. And I searched and searched and searched for a pattern like this sweater. And I found a lot that were very similar, but none were quite exactly it. So, I purchased a few of the different patterns, and then I kind of just had to do it as I went, like try and construct it in my head. I'm really not good at stuff like that. I know that I was able to do this one successfully for Paige, but I'm usually not really good at that. And,
I had time she was doing it, I was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Mm-hmm. You're insane.
And she kept saying, write it up. And I'm like, I ain't writing this up. I ain't ever knitting it again. And I don't think anybody else wants to knit it. And, hats off to all you designers out there, because I could barely even take notes on what I was doing, let alone write up a pattern.
You had like 15 patterns that you were taking.
I was taking
pieces of all of these different patterns.
I really am not good at. I don't have the creative mind to put something together on my own. So I'm more of just like a black and white numbers kind of person. So I'm just trying to take numbers from here and there and try and figure out how it works. But
I was completely impressed. She did
loves
a beautiful
the sweater.
job.
She loves the sweater. But like I said, Paige and Kagan, she was sending me these texts and pictures, and I was like, I have this sweater kit, and I have it in 2 colors because Paige wasn't sure what color she wanted. And then I even got some other yarn, so I let Darlene pick because, we said we do out of each other's stashes.
And I told Kagan when she asked me, I told her, I said, okay, I will knit. And I was so glad when she said she wanted a bulky sweater. I was like, I can do that. And I told her, I said, but I'm going to tell you right now, Kagan. And she said, I know, not black. And I was like, okay, as long as we understand that. Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't supposed to start yet. I was going to wait for Darlene to start, but I pulled out the kits and I wanted to just do a gauge swatch. And as I was doing the gauge swatch, to make sure that we had the right needles and stuff, I just had to cast it on. And this hardly took any time. And it's the back panel. And I haven't even finished one skein yet. I think we're going to need 6 or 7. I think I have 8 or 9 skeins of each.
In the camera?
Yeah, that's...
Okay, Kagan's is going to be gray.
Yeah. And Paige's is going to be taupe. And I think I have 8 or 9 skeins of these. And I think we'll only need like 6 or 7. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Paige is a little taller. I'm knitting Kagan's in a small. Now she does want it longer than the pattern, so I'm going to have, because can't do it like the pattern. She wants it to a certain length on her butt, so I'm going to have to do the length.
Mm-hmm.
So
I still think the pattern is going to fit into Kagan's measurements, because she sent me her measurements, and Paige kind of looked at me. She goes, "Is it going to be robe length?" And I'm like, "No."
Robe length?
That's what she said.
Oh my gosh. A shorty robe.
It's going to be a robe where you can see your tushy.
But I was taking Kagan's measurements, and I was measuring her, and I wrote it all down, and then I took a picture of it, and then I sent it to Carrie, because I told Kagan, I said, if I lose this notepad and I lose my picture, Carrie has it, and she won't lose it. So,
so I still have it. But
so I don't know. I'm anxious to get it made. I really want to get it made for Kagan, because she's so excited about it, and I haven't knit very much for Kagan or Brinley, because I don't want to spend the time knitting something with, Peyton is an exception. She likes anything.
She does.
But Kagan is a pretty picky kid.
Just like Paige.
She's just like Paige, and so I don't want to pick out something and knit for her and then it never get worn. So I was excited when she asked for this, and I told her that I would try to have it made for her by mid-September or something, and I think that's very doable.
I think so, because I think it's going to knit up fast. So.
In fact, maybe we should take it with us next weekend or something.
Oh, yeah, next weekend. We were just about to talk about next weekend.
Oh, were we? Okay.
Because that's all of our whips and finished objects. But next weekend, we have a retreat that we go to. It's a knitting retreat, and it's not a whole lot of people, so we really shouldn't be calling it a retreat.
Well, it is a retreat. We go to a beautiful lake. We get away,
and we knit all weekend.
And we knit all weekend, and maybe might have some drinking going on. But mostly knitting. We do knit. We're not like a lot of people that I've heard of You know, I've heard people say, you know how these knitting retreats are. There's not a lot of knitting that gets done. That is not
we
ours.
Get a lot at our
we
knitting
get a
retreat.
lot because that's all we do.
We just sit on the deck. It's my sister's lake house. My sister and her husband. Thank you, Jim and Janice, for letting us use it every year. We've been doing this 4 or 5 years now. We started off at a friend's house that she used to live in San Antonio, and she moved to Houston. She doesn't even live in Houston anymore. She's in Colorado now.
Really?
But we went to Jill's house and did like this stitching bitch, and we had so much fun at her place.
Oh my gosh, it was fun.
That we decided to do it annually, and we needed a place that was inexpensive and close, so we weren't traveling a whole lot. And my sister had just bought a lake house, and I was like, what's it going to take to let us use that? And her and Jim have no problem with it, and we use it every year, once a year. We usually get it during the summer months when it's a little bit hotter, you know, when they're not going, obviously, because we don't want to take it during their time. And so we're going next weekend. I think there's 7 or 8 of us.
I think there's 8.
8 of us.
8 going.
And that's what the house sleeps, is 8. And
it's just perfect. I mean, it is the perfect weekend because, you know, it's a group of us, really good friends that are going.
Yeah,
and
we've known each other for years. And
it's just so relaxing, and it's so much fun. I know one year, you know, I get up before anybody else, and I go, you know, 5:30. I get up and I go out to the dock, and I was sitting out there one day, and it was real early in the morning, and these 2 men, these elderly gentlemen in this little boat.
Kayak.
No, it was a little, like a metal boat. It had one of those outboard motors, but it wasn't like a speedboat. It was just a little pond, a little fishing boat kind of thing. And I mean, they were talking and being loud, you know, and I was like, and they were fishing up by everybody's docks, and I was like, haven't y'all ever heard the thing of no talking while you fish, you know? Because they were
scare the fish off.
Yeah, they were like loud, you know, and I was trying to listen to the birds and watch the turtles jump, and
there's a lot of turtles that stick their head out in the lake.
And so, but man, these men were chatty men. So I think the no fishing thing is just something people tell their wives because they don't want them talking in the boat.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think.
There you go, ladies. If you've got fishermen out there, that's obviously a myth.
Yep, I think so.
So,
but it's just the perfect weekend.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Gosh,
I can't wait. We take Friday off, and we head up there, and then we don't come home until Sunday. It's real quick, but it's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and we have a really, really great time.
It's fantastic.
So
Can't
hopefully
wait.
I'll have lots of pictures to show. Maybe, you know, put them in the next episode or something, or put them in a thread somewhere. It's really just beautiful. So we're really looking forward to that. Lots of knitting time. Hopefully we have lots of finished things, or maybe started things to show you next week. Who knows?
We usually do start stuff.
Yeah, we do. We do some crazy stuff. But anyway, I think that's all we have.
I think so.
For this episode, we do have a little bit of shop talk. So if you don't want to know about the new bags in the shop, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
So I don't have a lot of stuff in the shop. You know, this past couple of weeks has just been with, you know, keeping up with orders and having the grandkids and stuff. So, but I do the giveaway.
The 500 giveaway is one of the new bags.
It's one of the new ones, and then I also have it in blue with yellow zipper and yellow lining. And I just think they're so cute. I mean, I love the little bear hiding in the flowers. And then the next one is just a little summer bag with bugs in a jar. And I think it's really cute.
I love bees. Not like in person, like stinging me. This is a chevron. I love this inside. But just like little bees on pens and pencils and paper and stuff. I just think, I don't know, I guess they just draw up cute, but that's just
I think
me.
they're cute too. And then I have a New Orleans bag. It's just a jazz bag. And it's got the piano, and I just thought the black and the red and the white and gold was pretty. And then it's just got a polka dotted on the inside.
It's a very nice bag. I love the colors.
Thank you. When you were talking about bees, just a real quick story. My son-in-law Tim and Peyton went out to Tim's deer lease to try to get his feeders and stuff ready for deer season, and he had a swarm of bees inside one of his feeders, and Peyton opened it, and she was like gonna pour corn in it, and these bees started coming out, and Tim told her, he said, "Run, Peyton." And he said all you could see behind her was dust. She was just like running Forrest Gump down the road. He said by the time I got her stopped, she was halfway back to San Antonio. So,
Don't tell Peyton to run if you don't mean it.
yeah, because she was running. He said it was pretty funny.
That is cute. That is cute.
But that's all. That's all the bags I have for shop update this time.
All right. Well,
Hey.
again, thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.